Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the All Talent, No Skill podcast. I am your host, not Mike the Doodler. I am, in fact, the guest. My name is JF Maxwell.
And
I am an artist.
Oh, nice. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. The guest is the most important. I'll wait my turn.
How dare you, sir? I agreed to be on this podcast.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't get anything right. It's been a long day. I couldn't get your epic red, white, and blue.
You think I haven't had a long day, good? You think I haven't had a long day, good sir? You think I haven't?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Your day must have been stressful. My interns couldn't get you the right kind of coffee. We had no blue Skittles in the little bowl anymore, and our vending machine only takes cash, not card. It must have been like a horrendous day.
Yeah, it was. Actually, no, all of that is okay. The worst thing that I had to deal with was so offensive to me that it actually actively made me physically angry.
And that would be?
I asked for no pickles on my Wendy's burger, and yet they put...
I'm so sorry.
It's not your fault. I don't blame you. I blame Wendy's, and that's why I burned it to the ground.
Damn.
When I ask for no pickles, I get no damn pickles.
Damn, dude. Okay, let me check with our interns to make sure your club sandwich doesn't have any pickles. I really like my studio. Please don't burn it down.
All right, guys. That order was supposed to go out 20 minutes ago. If I have to hear another entitled artist bitch about their food, I'll kill yous. All of yous. Hey, why the hell are we so far behind schedule? A goddamn Cuban sandwich? Why, in the name of the great Lord above, are we 20 minutes late on a goddamn sandwich?
It's, the new hire, boss. They were in charge of the stock, and we're kind of working on low inventory.
Where are they?
Well, let's see.
Okay. You'll get your sandwich. Okay. The interns say you'll get your sandwich at the end of the episode, so we'll be fine. But for right now, welcome everybody again. My lovely guest said to the No Experience All Talent podcast, where everything is indeed professional except for my interns, apparently. So we went over it a little bit, but this is Justice. He is a pretty good artist. Do you want to tell people where they can find you?
You can. You can find me on Instagram at JF_Maxwell. No capitals. Is there anything else that I should plug? Because that's primarily like the favorite one that I like to post on.
Yeah, if that's the only one that you want to play on. I know you want to keep your like underground like weed business on the download until like you guys
listen, I want to make sure that the underground illegal AI art accounts that I have set up are not known, so they do not ruin my reputation as an artist.
Yeah. I know. I'm sorry. How could I forget? I'm so clumsy.
No, it's fine. It's okay. Listen, it takes a lot to actually get me upset, unless it involves pickles, because those.
We're gonna need an ET on that sandwich. Okay. Well, let's take.
Please do.
Let's. They said it should be. It should be ready in like. It should be ready in like 40 minutes. I don't know. By the end of the episode, kind of. I don't know why it's gonna take that long to make a damn sandwich, but you know what? I'm not gonna doubt them. They're the sandwich artists. If they know what they're doing, I'm not gonna say anything because they indeed make the sandwiches, and I just make funny little pictures on the internet.
I have not in my 10 years of working in this prissy, godforsaken, entitled-filled restaurant have I had the absolute misfortune of working with some lazy, uncoordinated, stupid sack of mozzarella like In the 3 months you've been here, you done absolutely nothing.
Hey, I've done helpful things around here. I told the delivery guys to take back the shipment of olives because they're way too underripe. They were like green and stuff. And I totally put out the kitchen fire last week.
The kitchen fire that you started because you put tinfoil in the microwave.
In my defense, I didn't know you weren't supposed to put tinfoil in the microwave since we weren't allowed to use microwaves in culinary school.
Kid, you have gotta be one of the stupidest graduates out there, and it's a Christmas miracle that you made it out of culinary school. You are coming with me to the store, too. You are gonna pitch in for the ingredients, and after we make this sandwich, you and me are gonna have a talk.
Oh. Okay.
Well, honestly, I do the same, but I'm the one with an arsonist record.
Yeah, and you're kind of making me a little nervous. Could you put your lighter away? I know, I know. It's for like a fidget thing, and like I have like my own like little bulbous ball right here, but like you're kind of making me nervous every time you like.
It's the video. It's just a video of this, and it's just me playing with like a Zippo lighter while actively talking to you, and just not blinking while making full-on eye contact.
We'll name this episode "Mike the Noodler Gets Burned to a Fucking Crisp."
Hey, as long as there's no pickles, you don't have to name it that.
Fuck. Okay. You know what? We'll take a break from the pickles, and make sure, and we'll keep our minds off of it, because like we know how, I personally know how much you disdained for the vinegar coated cucumber. So let's dive.
Which is weird because I like cucumbers. I don't like pickles though.
Yeah, I know a lot of people.
The
like
irony.
That. I know a lot of people who like pickles but hate cucumbers.
Yeah, honestly it's weird. It's got to be the vinegar. That's got to be the thing.
Yeah, probably. But pickles aside, and hopefully arson aside, let's jump into some questions right now. So, if you don't mind, this is a side point. I can take this out of the episode, but I'm just gonna bring up your career, if that's okay.
Okay.
Okay. So, from what I gathered, you're currently an electrician, correct?
Yes, that is true. I'm actually a journeyman electrician.
That is pretty cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, as someone who kind of works in healthcare, my job kind of gets busy, but kind of not, because like I'm pretty much like an in-house nurse for most of it. And I want to.
Still an important job.
Yeah, it's still an important job, but I would like to know, like, with a fully acknowledged career that most people think of, how do you balance that with drawing and making your comics and like writing and stuff?
I don't.
all right, we getting a little too honest here.
Yeah. Well, in all honesty, I pretty much have a 9-to-5 job, so from Monday to Friday, my mornings and like early afternoons are taken up by my job. After that, that's when I actually do a lot of the creative work. I'll draw every now and then. I'll draw like character designs or storyboard some stuff for comics, or get some penciling work done.
Okay.
Once bedtime rolls around, which for me is like around 9:30, I'll sit in bed for about a half hour and I'll storyboard some stuff and write scripts for comics, which I'm actually doing right now.
That's pretty neat. A man of multiple talents.
I try. I actually use, this is more like a quirk that I like to do. Fun fact, I like to collect old typewriters.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So whenever I go to an antique shop, I always see what they have for typewriters. So far, I've got about 5. And you can get them cheap at some of these antique shops. I got a really old one for about $60.
Oh, okay. That's well, actually, I can't say if it's cheap or expensive because I don't buy typewriters.
The average typewriter, I think, if you're getting a new one, they probably go for like around $100. Or if you get a really good one that's like really classic and in really good condition, some of them can go for like thousands of dollars. Especially if you're getting like a Corona or a Royal typewriter.
Oh, okay. Is there any like specific reason like that you're a big fan of these typewriters? Is it just like the aesthetic wise? Do you find it easier to work on said typewriter sometimes, or do you just like them because?
Kind of hard to explain. It's like, I mean, yeah, a computer's more convenient and you can make a lot more edits, but I feel like some people have said that using a typewriter has kind of forced people to try to spell better, and I feel like it has kind of improved my writing and in a way. And at the same time, there's something I like the sound of the of when you punch the keys.
Okay.
It's annoying to hear at like 3 a.m., but like personally for me, it makes me happy.
The little ticks and clacks like of the typewriter. Yeah, I get it. It's a common occurrence, especially with keyboards nowadays. Like those like big clicky and clacky keyboards are very like popular nowadays. All right. Yeah. So as you said, you have a typical 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so for a lot of people, including myself, sometimes when I get home from work, I usually feel fucking drained. And I'm assuming like with the stuff that you do, you probably somewhat feel the same, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have any per se, like you personally, do you have any tips or advice to still try to get something out that day, like try to get like, I don't know, like a sketch or like some line art done? Because I know like the biggest thing for me when like I go like a long period without time is that when I get home, the only thing I want to do is like lay in bed and just like, I don't know, pass out for like the next 12 hours.
Okay, so just fall asleep. Fair enough.
Yeah. but like that one day becomes 2 days, and those become 4, and that becomes an entire week where I haven't done anything. So I'd like to know, like, if like, since you personally would probably like face similar challenges, I would like to know like what's your mindset or like process of like getting out of something like that?
It's kind of one that I adopt from Stephen King or Charles Bukowski. At least get one page done, or at least get one thing done a night at most. No one's a machine. You should be able to allow yourself to at least get some sleep. Like, you can have a day off, but if you have the energy and you have a project that you want to get done, there's nothing wrong with clacking away with like getting it done. That's personally what I do, especially for storyboarding. At least get one page done.
All right.
And you should be fine.
Or
for drawing, at least get one sketch done.
Yeah, that's the mindset that I kind of adopt. I usually try to get at least like a sketch or like a layout done before like I go like, okay, I'm done for the night. And it's helped me stay on time. Like, I don't post as much, but I would argue that I'm drawing like twice as much nowadays.
Yeah, you don't even have to post it. You at least get the drawing done.
Yeah.
It's more like a mental health thing.
Yeah, of course. And they're taking their sweet time with that sandwich.
Did you actually mean it when you said I was the worst you've ever seen?
Whoa, hey, what's with your sudden introspection?
I know that I'm like not the best, go to the best culinary school out there.
Now, don't go blaming your mistakes on things that aren't to blame.
I paid for my classes with a hundo and a 2-for-1 coupon to Subway. Hell, I think an off-campus building used to be a Pizza Hut.
What? If your education was really that bad, why even jump into working? Why not go get a proper education?
I can't afford it. All I wanted to do with my life is cook. My dad used to do it, and he was very encouraging with me doing what he does.
Oof. Why didn't he teach you then?
He's not with us.
Well, from what I seen, you ain't the worst.
Thanks.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask, what's the 411?
They're out of those fancy little toothpicks that they put on the sandwiches, so they needed to go out and get some more.
Like the ones, not like the regular like toothpicks, like the ones that have like the weird foil at the end of it.
Yeah.
Damn, those are nice.
Yeah, like, again, only the nicest for a distinguished guest as yourself.
Thank you. That's very nice of you.
Yeah, no problem. Now, as one man of the, let's say, graphic novel type to the other, I believe you have some at least some comics that you work on from time to time. Correct?
Yeah, that's very true.
Alright, if you don't mind, I would love to, prod some, some bits and bots on, like, some of the comics that you work on.
Okay.
Let's, do you have any, shorter ones? Like, I know, from talking to you, you usually have, like, you've been working on, like, a lot of, like, more one-shots kind of things, which I've been really, like, astounded to see, because they, like, look phenomenal, honestly.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Do you have any of them that you would like to share or like go through personally?
There are a couple that so far my favorite 2 one-shots that I've done are like the only ones that I've officially completed. I do have another one that's currently in the works that was inspired by a YouTube video I saw called Portrait of God.
Ooh.
Which was a horror story.
Oh.
Look it up on YouTube. It's actually pretty good.
Will do. I'll put that into my watch later then.
All right then. But yeah, I'd say probably my favorite one that I've done so far that I enjoyed writing the most was one that I did called Roadside Dance.
Yeah.
Which was about a woman whose friend died in a car accident back in the 1980s. So she goes to the site where she died, plays her favorite song, and her ghost appears, and they have one last dance together.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah. I feel like that was my favorite because that was probably like the most emotional and like I think probably the first and only romantic story I've ever written.
Oh yeah, I guess it kind of was, because I forget that our writing styles and like our usual preference to like really like our preference on like writing and like drawing stuff are like not vastly different, but they're noticeably different.
Yeah. I do think the shortest one that I've written that I personally enjoy drawing the most was called Gunk, and it was a 4-page comic. It was body horror, and it was about a heroin addict who tried. It's probably also my most visceral story so far.
Mm-hmm.
It's about a heroin addict who gets a new type of drug that absolutely blows every other drug that he's tried out of the water and is immediately hooked. But the drug slowly changed his body, and he becomes more malformed and ghoulish.
Yeah. Okay.
Until the end until the end of the story where the landlord kicks in his door. They find him, his body pretty much melted and fused with the wall and the couch.
Ooh. It's creepy.
Yeah. And that was also inspired by some of the stuff that my dad has told me. Context, my dad works in a rehab center, so he works with people who are going through like very severe addictions with like heroin, methamphetamines, Suboxone, fentanyl, and some of the stuff that he told me about some of the behavior that some drug addicts have definitely played a part in this.
Okay. That's another thing that I'd love to go into talk about because like your whole art style, like especially when it comes to like the horror genre in general, it's just utterly fascinating. I'd like to know, like, how did you like personally get into that?
Into horror art? Or...
Yeah, like, well, I guess horror in general. You know, like let's start from the top, I guess.
Okay. I think my interest in horror really came around at a young age. I can't exactly say how it began.
All right.
But I do have a very vague memory of my parents always... Well, for one thing, my mom is a huge Stephen King fan, and well, as a New Englander, that's like the name to... the author to know.
Okay.
And over time, I feel like I slowly developed that interest in horror, especially with my parents' very, very broad collection of horror movies they had on VHS, like Hellraiser, It. Every now and then, I'd sneak in while they were watching a horror movie, and I'd see some scenes that were burrowed in my brain forever.
Oh, okay.
And it was a lot of like the old horror movies, a lot of the very classic ones.
Do you have a favorite by any chance?
I feel like well, that's going to be very difficult to answer.
Yeah, sorry for putting you on the spot.
I have a lot. I'd say probably like my favorite that I always go to is Stanley Kubrick's The Shining.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm kind of biased on that because Stanley Kubrick is probably one of my favorite directors and definitely has an influence on like how I frame characters and my drawing style. I try to do a lot of his movies are kind of slow, and I mean, he was a photographer before he became a director, so he just has an eye for these things. So I try to add that to it as well. He's very meticulous as well. Probably why it takes me so long to make stories.
All right. Now that we've kind of gotten like a kind of baseline for your inspirations, how do you usually try to incorporate that to like your kind of creations, like your comics, your art, and everything in between?
Well, for creations, a statement that I keep hearing when talking about art is that a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Yeah.
So, something I try to, and this is something that I worked with Gunk on, I try to tell a story primarily through the pictures. Like, you can look at it and you can pinpoint exactly what's going on through their heads.
Oh yeah, like a show don't tell kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is actually... And I try to do that a lot with like, so I look into metaphors, I look into symbolism, I look into a lot of things that can help push this idea. And honestly, I know for a fact that not everyone's going to get every single bit of symbolic thing that happens. But at the same time, I feel like it kind of adds flavor to it. Kind of like when an animator animates a character off trying to think of it.
Off model?
Off frame rate from a...
Oh, okay.
No. Okay. Off frame rate from another character to show that they're moving individually.
Oh, kind of like what they did in Spider-Verse?
Yeah.
Okay.
And stuff like that is so interesting to me. It's the small stuff that they do that you look at and you don't notice until someone points it out at you.
Yeah, I didn't notice, and I absolutely love Spider-Verse, and I didn't notice anything until, like, I watched, like, the behind-the-scenes of, like, what they were trying to go for, and then, like, I rewatched it, and, like, oh my god, yeah, he does move at 12 FPS, that's so fucking weird.
It's a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff also has always been fascinating to me. When I was younger, I actually do remember this. Before I watched the horror movie, I would watch the trailer of the horror movie, and I would watch the behind-the-scenes stuff, especially for... I think my favorite was A Nightmare on Elm Street, the 1984 version.
Okay.
And it's a kind of low budget, but it's also very special effects heavy, especially with some of the kills. One of the earliest kills is a girl named Nancy, who is forced up a wall and then up onto a ceiling.
Yeah.
And you see all of this in camera. So
really?
Watch this. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds so cool.
It is. I'll have to show it to you after the podcast, but the way that they did that is that they built the room that the scene was taking place in. They strapped the other actor to the floor along with the camera, and they spun the room around. So
holy shit.
Yeah, and they do a lot of this stuff. There's also a scene with the antagonist, Freddy Krueger, shoving his face not through a wall, like through the wall to attack someone, but it's almost like when you press against like latex.
Ooh, okay.
And that's exactly what they did. They took a piece of latex, they painted it to match with the rest of the wall, and they basically just had Robert Englund, the actor, just jam his face against it to stare down at a character and then come back.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Practical effects, man. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's so wild, like, how creative, like, they had to be, and it's a really shame because, like, a lot of studios try to remake that, like, nowadays, and it just kind of looks goofy. I think that's the whole reason why they didn't make, like, a remake of, like, what's that movie? The Thing? I think that's what it's called.
It wasn't a remake, it was more like a prequel.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this is something that I learned. They did a lot of practical effects stuff, and the practical effects that you do see in that movie look awesome.
Yeah.
There's just a guy who, there was just a lot of studio interference when it came to that, and...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the initial directors were pissed about that, and they actually started a petition to try to get the original movie, to get the original stuff done.
Okay.
I forget how the petition went, but like some of the stuff that they showed, it actually looked really good.
All right, that's pretty good to hear. I'd probably want to do some later research on this after we finish up.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, because like honestly, that sounds good. Because like I've been meaning to watch like more stuff like that because
yeah. Because Rob Bottin, 24. That's the special effects artist who worked on The Thing. 24 years old, and actually had to be hospitalized for exhaustion with how hard he worked.
Damn, that guy was seriously on his grind. Jesus.
Yeah. Honestly, an artist through and through.
Oh yeah, tell me about it. I haven't seen much horror movies, but like when I saw The Thing, like I was really impressed because it looked fucking phenomenal. And I've been meaning to watch like more movies kind of like that because as an artist, I think I've come to the realization that it's pretty important to broaden your views and like what you're exposed into, because it kind of gives you like more different types of points of views. And with someone who like watches like majority like comedies, slice of lives, you know, rom-coms and all that stuff, like yeah, there's nothing wrong with like taking from that, but like getting like other kind of views like horror, action, thrillers, I think would definitely put like not my vocabulary, but like
it gives you a more
give me more references, I guess.
Yeah, because there's some amazing, because there's beautiful scenes and beautiful shots and honestly famous imagery that one can use in other material. You don't have to just watch like comedies and slice of lifes and rom-coms just to make really good comics like that. I feel like I'm kind of stumbling through this, but the best way that I feel like you can make a good story for you, a good story for everyone, is, take from what you like, but at the same time, research.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt to at least know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it doesn't. I honestly say it would add a bit more flavoring to your otherwise bland, soon-to-be-made sandwich, which, okay,
yeah.
They're stuck in traffic. Okay, I swear we're gonna get you that sandwich. You can,
Hey, listen, don't worry, alright? LA traffic is bullshit anyway, so it's no worry.
Yeah, LA traffic is so bullshit. Speaking of which, thanks again for flying all the way down to LA. I know it wasn't a comfortable plane flight. Given from like where you're from, because like that's gotta be like what, like a 6-hour flight.
I had to drive all the way to Logan Airport. I had to wait there. Then I had to ride Delta.
Oh,
it's the only ticket I could afford, man.
I know how you feel. I remember I had to fly to Salt Lake. I mean, I had to drive to LAX, not Salt Lake City Airport. LA, and
you were going to Salt Lake City.
I was going to Salt Lake City, and like the only airline I could afford was Spirit, and it was not a great experience, to say the least.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
You think with the fact that like we pretty much just have space travel at this point that they would improve airports, but no.
Fucking tell me about it.
Assholes.
Yeah, they're literally just a whole bunch of assholes.
Just boycott planes. Drive everywhere. Revitalize the American highways.
Revitalize the American highways.
Yeah. Shady motels are back in fashion.
They're back in fashion. Watch out, 2030s. We're gonna revive the road trip genres that you'd see in movies, coming of age stories, and all those kind of goofy and wacky shenanigans. We're going to revitalize going on road trips for 16 hours and then doing one thing for 5 hours and go back home for another 16 hours.
That big dinosaur that you see on the road from Boston all the way to Santa Cruz. You can't miss it.
You can't miss it.
Also, the giant thermostat.
Yeah, the giant thermostat. You obviously gotta go to the Clown Motel, the big giant ball of yarn that's in Minnesota.
You gotta see it. And this is more like you gotta see the American Stonehenge that they have in New Hampshire.
Yeah. If you drive by Idaho, you got to see Craters of the Moon, where it's just like a bunch of rocks.
You gotta go to that one lake, and I forget which state it is, but it's that really like clear lake that you can see at the bottom.
I don't know.
Is that even in America?
I don't think it's in America.
All right, hold on. I gotta Google this.
Okay.
Crater Lake, that's what I'm thinking, in Oregon.
Oh, okay. So it is in America.
Okay, nice. Alright, so I do have a question for you if guests are okay to ask questions.
Oh, yeah, of course. It helps me alleviate time constraint. It lengthens the episode a little bit. Yeah, so go for it.
You gotta you got to make sure the YouTube revenue comes in with a longer time.
Yeah, I gotta make sure I gotta make sure my 23 subscribers on YouTube are well fed for like another month.
All 24, bitch. My mom just subscribed.
Woo! Thank you, Justice Mom.
Yeah. Now, with some of your posts, it is shown that you enjoy playing Dungeons and Dragons. That is correct.
Yes, this is correct. I do enjoy Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay. I funny enough, I do as well. And
Ooh, okay.
I actually use the prospects of playing Dungeons and Dragons to help come up with character ideas.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Now, here's the question. When knowing this, do you create the character before you create the character before you play them, or do you play the character and then as time goes on you like make the character? Like, which comes first?
I think it's I play the character before I create the character.
Okay.
I would roll up like a random thing, like a random spreadsheet, or like player sheet. There we go. No, I'm not fluid in Excel, unfortunately. I would roll up a character sheet. I would give them like 1 or 2 characteristics, and then like roll off from there. And if I can like add more and more characteristics, then boom, I got a character. If I can't, then it's okay. It's just random barbarian man that will be forever doomed to the sidelines.
Big axe make ham half.
Yeah, big axe make ham half. Which is all right, but like I think I've kind of plateaued because a lot of like characteristics that I line up are like very, very influential, or like not influential. Well, I guess influential. They're influenced by my skill, like the types of things I'd like to play. Like I like to play the meek, charismatic, or like sneaky kind of motherfuckers, and a lot of them, I will fall into like a spellcaster of sorts, which isn't that bad, but like it's not. I'm not the best when it comes to character creation at the table, because like someone else would be like, oh, like I would like to play a wizard, and like some other guy was like, oh, cool, you can play a wizard, and I'll play a warlock. And then like we'd be set, and then like at like when we like start like session 0, they're like, okay, Mike, what are you playing? He's like, oh, I'm playing a sorcerer. So everyone is mad at me because I have this firm belief that party composition, especially in D&D, fucking doesn't matter. If you like playing the things you like playing, then play it. I don't care. I don't care if we have like 6 wizards in the party, 5 barbarians, or like no healers. As long as everyone's playing like a class they definitely like, that they definitely would have liked to play that campaign, then go for it. I'm looking at I'm looking at all the min-maxers in the call right now. Fuck you. Team comp is stupid in TTRPGs. Go play that bard. Anyways, that's my rant for the day.
I cannot argue with that. Honestly, I like your state of mind on that.
Yeah. It only comes like recently because me and my D&D group started a new campaign, and
which is awesome.
Which is pretty good. Funnily enough, I'm the only non-spellcaster. I'm a monk, but
nice.
Yeah. But we have in the party 2 warlocks and a bard, and I thought like, hey, that's pretty cool. Because like imbalance in the party creates such magnificent roleplay and like pretty good like situations for like situations and problems for the party. That's why I always advocate for like just playing what you want. Don't think about team comp. But
I kind of think the same way, honestly.
Yeah.
Personally, I like to make the character before I play as them. Like,
Yeah.
In my D&D group, in the Discord channel that we actually have a channel called Character Ideas, where basically we literally just throw ideas out there, and it's like, oh, here's a cool idea, and more one time or another, people will take from that and work with it.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Picking up and putting down ideas is really good. I know recently, a good friend of mine wanted to pick up something from like my most recent finished character. He's a purple little tiefling called Baker. And like
is he a baker?
Yeah, he is indeed a baker. Yes, that's why his name is Baker.
That's adorable.
Yeah, he's a pastry chef that makes like little pastries for his family tavern. But it's in the same thing where like I play the character before I make the character because I was like, okay, I want to play a meek little dude who has no business in venturing because he's got a pretty good family life. Both of his parents love him, and he's like, and like his younger siblings look up to him. And I wouldn't say he's got like a disability. It just makes it harder because I rolled with the thing where like, are you familiar with the subclass like Divine Soul for the sorcerer?
I am not. No, I've actually never played a sorcerer.
This was like my first time playing a sorcerer, and it was an experience to say the least. Because a fun fact: Wizards of the Coast fucking hate the sorcerer for some fucking reason. It's like sorcerer and monk. They don't give them anything interesting for like their level ups. They don't get like much for like level ups. They don't even learn as many spells as like a bard or a warlock, which is unfortunate. But luckily, I talked to my DM, and my DM was pretty cool about it, giving me an expanded spell list and like a bit more opportunities to take spells. But no, for my thing is like, okay, he's got no business in venturing because he's got job security and he's got a loyal family. And every time he casts his magic, it makes him extremely nauseous because because since he's a tiefling, he's like quote unquote demon folk, and he's got a divine soul. So like every time like that magic is surging through him, it just makes him like unbearably sick.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's stuff like that it feels like adds flavor to the initial character, because yeah, you can have a sorcerer, but I feel like if you add story to it, then it definitely makes things more interesting for everyone.
Yeah, and my
for instance, a changeling who can't really change that much.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's fine. You are indeed the guest, so I'd love to hear all of your opinions.
Okay. There was actually recently a character that I came up with. It's a pyromancer who needs to wear a special suit to help control their powers due to an event that led to their hometown being burned down when they got very emotionally overwhelmed.
So they're not in full control of their power yet.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
And I feel like that also adds to the character arc of them, where they eventually do get full control of their powers and they don't have to wear the suit anymore.
Yeah, that's honestly, it's always like, I always want to say this to new people who are wanting to play D&D, and especially 5e, because it's become so accessible to everyone. At the beginning, I would suggest giving everyone says oh, give your character a flaw. I would say give your character a flaw that will come into effect, that will fuck up people, that will fuck up some of your chances in your thing, because not everyone's going to be at your 100%, but given the way that D&D is, you're technically always going at 100%. So if like you have like chance to like fuck up off of like involuntary things that you do that you can't help, it's like a more like fucking it's a more flavorful, as you would say, experience because fucking people drop the ball so fucking much, and sometimes it's not even their fault. It's just like a bodily reaction or something like that, or like an emotional reaction, because that's how we are. We are people.
And if like there's something that I do every now and then, if you get a bad roll, this is kind of, I feel like improving is also a great skill to have when playing D&D, because if you get a bad roll, you can somehow tie like something about your character into it. Like, for instance, if your character doesn't exactly like fighting, or if they're not exactly strong, you could say like if they roll a 1 on a sword swing, you could say that they kind of had trouble trying to swing their sword or something because they've never swung it before.
Yeah, of course. It's always like the minor things that people put like that like cause like a detriment to to your characters. My favorite thing, no matter what type of character I'm playing, like if I'm like going in a situation where I know my character is not well equipped for it, it is my favorite thing to do is like when they're like, oh, like roll for this or roll for that. I always like to ask my dungeon master if I can roll with disadvantage, because like my character wouldn't know that. My character like obviously like my character wouldn't know that. Like it'd be like very weird if they did. So like and like plus I think it like also kind of it kind of helps push like the other party members to like embrace their flaws, because like there's a member in my group, I love him, but he's a bit like min-maxy, so he tries his best to like succeed in almost everything, which is okay. Right. But like sometimes you know, making sure that like, you know, you'll be in the wrong and stuff, it is a fun thing to do, because again, it's a collaborative story thing.
And I feel like that's the key thing that some people sometimes forget about. Like D&D is like a game of imagination, it's like a game of imagination, and story can be important.
Yeah. And it's supposed to be, and like another thing, it's like that people need to remember, it's like it's supposed to be fun. That comes to the bottom line.
Yeah, you gotta have fun.
Yeah.
If you're not having fun, then what's the point?
Yeah, exactly. This is like the one time of day where like almost everyone is free, and if you're not having fun, then why are you spending it doing something like that? Hey. Oh, hey, your sandwich is here.
Here you are, Mr. Mike T. Doodler. One Cuban sandwich.
Made to perfection.
Thank you very much. I very much appreciate it.
Oh, fantastic. Let's sorry for turning your podcast into pretty much like turning your podcast into a D&D conversation.
No, it's fine. D&D is very creative and like again creative, and like I like talking about like being creative and like stuff to create stuff with. Anyways, how's your sandwich?
Well, I was gonna hold off on opening it up until like the end of the episode, because let's be honest here, no one wants to. If there's still time left, I don't think anyone wants to hear me eating a sandwich.
Okay. That is fun. That is fun. I think we have like
any other questions.
I think we have like time for one more question. In the last podcast, in the the Forgotten podcast, there was like one big one that we talk about, and I'd like to talk about your series, the one that you've been kind of like on again, off again working. Would you mind like talking about Superstition? I think that's what it's called again.
Oh, yep, it is called Superstition.
Okay.
Superstition is a comic series that, honestly, I feel like has been in the works for a good while, because I keep getting cool ideas of what I want to do with it. On one hand, have I ever told you like how it initially started?
No, I don't think so.
Funny enough, it actually started off as like a slice of life style story.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
It would have been about a vampire, a werewolf, and a psychic child with the spirit of their dad with them. And I called it Paranormal Road.
Oh, okay.
Yep. It was actually working with that I actually managed to create the character Malcolm in his first iteration. This was before I decided to make him Asmodeus.
Okay. That's actually kind of interesting. I didn't really know about that. So how did it evolve into this kind of like noir-esque kind of gritty reality thing where this, I guess, detective of sorts starts investigating like very paranormal, very I guess eldritch kind of stuff? How did that like the slice of life evolve into like current superstition?
I feel like as time went on and my taste in horror kind of matured, over time I started reading a lot more stuff like H.P. Lovecraft. I started reading a lot of mystery stories.
Oh, okay.
I also started watching a lot more like grittier stories, grittier horror movies like The Exorcist. Was definitely a big influence on the way that I would also do these stories. Especially like The Exorcist 3.
Yeah.
Or Legion, which is not as horror focused as the first movie is. It's more of like a detective murder mystery.
Okay.
Which I definitely feel like had a huge influence on that.
All right. As for working on it for a while, do you have what is your process on like creating newer I guess case entries, or how you I think what you call like new chapters or episodes called cases, right?
Yeah, I definitely feel like I might keep doing that.
Okay.
For like different stories that I come up with, I always look back at some story ideas that I wrote down a while ago and say, can I do this? Can I do this now, or would this not work?
All right.
And a lot of them come from like different forms of inspiration, like say real life crime investigations, or like real life stories of different hauntings, or just like elements of strange events that happen, and inspiration for like movies and different forms of media. Like I always consume as much media as I can to help with the creation of certain stories.
All right.
That's part.
Okay. And before we finish this up, is there anything kind of exciting or special, or like something that you think you'd like enjoy sharing that involves like the like anything involving your comic superstition?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
Is there anything that you would like the audience to know, like anything close, or like any behind the scenes process that you'd like to share with superstition?
I have been bouncing with this idea for a while. I kind of thought about turning superstition into like a TV pilot.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. Though the thing is, the way that I would do it is, a lot of this animation is either like a lot of the animation that you see nowadays, and it would be animation, it's either 3D Flash, or like, I mean, I love hand-drawn stuff, but I feel like there's something that I would do to kind of add to the level of uncanny, which is something that I want to play with superstition, is I would have it rotoscoped, but keep the monochromatic art style.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, except for, and this is something that I've always loved working with, like black, white, and red.
Yeah.
I would still keep the blood to be red.
Okay. Yeah, that's a pretty neat choice. Anyways, it's been a joy to have you. Thank you for taking some time out of your very busy day to be on this podcast. I hope you enjoyed the sandwich and that.
I'll actually open it up right now since it's the end of the episode.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm sure they got it right.
Well, kid, you may not got that much going on behind that old head of yours, but you sure can make a mean sandwich. And a good call on them pickles.
Yeah, of course. Slices are the way to go when it comes to sandwiches.
Run.
Thank you to PsychoAnimator for being a guest. And thank you to Soggy Oreos VO and Brian Jefford as the additional voices of the two chefs. This has been No Experience All Talent Podcast. And I'll see you whenever.